Ladies and gentlemen, on the latest edition of Real Talk with Rick Glaser, we're going to talk about Wilder. Is he going to make a comeback at Bridgerweight? And we're going to talk about the Big Bang, Zhang. And I tell you what, we're also going to talk about Daniel Dynamite Dubois. Hold on. I'm getting feedback here, guys. My apologies. Oh, my word. My apologies, guys. I'm getting feedback here. We're also going to talk about Canelo. Is he going to ditch the IBF title? All this and more on the latest edition of Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Presents Big Time Boxing USA on War of Week Radio.
Why, thank you, Emmanuel. Oh, boy, I tell you what, Emmanuel, back from the heavens. Guys, I tell you what, to help us interview the man, Real Rick Glaser, it's my pleasure to introduce for the first time in 2 weeks, the incomparable G-Funky Boxing.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me back. Sorry I've been gone, had some things to take care of, but dude, sick intro, man. I love the syncopation, the harmonics in there. Dude, that is sick, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I dabble in that stuff a little bit, but guys, the reason why we're convening here today is to seek the counsel of one of the sharpest knives in the boxing drawer today, the incomparable Rick Glaser. Rick, how you doing, sir?
Not bad. Thank you for asking. Doing all right. No complaints. Fire away.
Oh,
Yes,
I tell
sir.
you what, G-Funky will give you number one, sir. I posted this just in time. Oh, no.
Oh.
Hold on, guys. I almost forgot. We need to play this. Come on, Teddy. Bring it.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
I almost forgot the intro, brother. So, number one in the tri-state area.
Okay, is that Johan Ingram? Am I saying that right?
No, it's
Yep.
John.
John?
No, it's Johan. It's Johan.
Is it really Johan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
jeez.
Johan Ingram telling it straight up about the bullshit coming from Leonard Ellaby and Floyd's hiding another reason why fighters are leaving Mayweather promotions. All Bob coming from TMT these days.
What's going on there, Rick? Apparently you dropped another cryptic tweet regarding this, and this is from let's see, on May 29th. A lot of negative things floating around about Floyd and Mayweather Promotion CEO Leonard Ellerby coming from all kinds of sources. Hopefully the situation gets righted. Hashtag boxing. So what's the deal, Pickle?
Well, I'd rather not talk about that right there. Let's go back to the Johan Ingram tweet. A bunch of fighters are leaving him, have left him in the last couple of weeks. Major Hackett, Jarrell Major Hackett left. He signed with Eddie Hearn. He's got a fight on July 13th.
Very good.
Yeah, and Ingram's got his release in his hand, and I'm told by multiple sources, and he's leaving. He's 4-0 with 4 knockouts, a lightweight, young kid, very good fighter. I believe he's from North Carolina originally. He lives in Vegas, and they just all want to flee. They all want to flee. I mean, it's just awful. One kid hasn't ever fought for him. He signed up last year. He's a 4-round fighter. It's unbelievable. He's 2-0. So I don't know. I even know the guy's name. The last name is gosh, what is the last name? Khan, Dorian Khan Jr.
Wow.
I heard about that. He hasn't never even fought for him. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It just never ceases. These guys are just full of babaluba, which is a
Well,
street term for bullshit.
yeah. In the tri-state area. No, I'm kidding. Look, Rick, this is what happens when you are working with Golden Boy Promotions, arguably one of the best, arguably the best to have ever done it, Don Chargan, their senior advisor. Floyd had that at his disposal. Richard Schaefer, arguably one of the best money men ever to be in boxing. And then he learns nothing. He doesn't know. He's completely reliant on TV dates, and he knows nothing about staging shows off TV and actually keeping his fighters busy. What did he learn from Al Heyman or Don Chargan or Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Gomez, Richard Schaefer? I thought he was tight with Richard Schaefer.
I guess not. I don't know that. I don't know, but it doesn't look too promising for Mayweather Promotions. When was the last time they promoted a show? When was the last time they did anything?
Well, without Steven Espinosa's dime, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
hey, Joe,
it.
can you do me a favor and highlight?
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Mini Mill, his first comment there in the chat.
I will as soon as I spotlight.
Super chat.
Oh, woo! Super chat from Canelo's World. Thank you for the 199 super chat, sir. Appreciate it, brother. He says Turkey said he's working on Canelo versus Crawford. Is that for this year, Rick?
Well, I even want to first put that out there. Nobody believed me. They thought I was crazy. So he's not telling Milton. That guy there is not telling me anything. I don't know. I'm the one that put it out there originally. Several months ago. The earliest it could happen is December. The latest would happen would be like in I think March or something, right before Ramadan. So there's about a 4-month swing there.
Wait a minute. You mean they don't celebrate Cinco de Mayweather in Saudi Arabia?
No. No, but the fight won't be over there. Don't get me wrong; it'll be over here. But they don't work during Ramadan. The Saudis don't work during Ramadan. What I'm told, they don't operate businesses during Ramadan. Is what I'm told.
And now let's look. And thank you for the super chat, Canelo's World. We appreciate it, my friend. And this, I have to put this here from my brother Iceman. Welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for supporting Rick on this day, as well as my brother G Funky. He goes, yeah, I heard Canelo might fight as mandatory. Is that true? Because I've heard it as well. He's having second thoughts about relinquishing that title. But, Rick, when he finds out how much DAZN is willing to
right,
it's not going to happen, is it?
Here's the situation. He's got the WBA mandatories too. It's Belanger, and at least that will sell tickets, okay, and create a little enthusiasm amongst pay-per-view buyers because whether they think he's good or bad.
Take care of this real quick, guys. I'm sorry, just 1 moment. Keep going.
Whether they think he's good or bad, he is undefeated, and he is Puerto Rican. He lives in New York. He's got a lot of things. He's got a lot of advantages. William Skull, nobody's ever heard of in America, except the people at the IBF office. So it's not, if he's going to fight a mandatory, it'll be Belanger, not Skull.
Yep, that's it, guys. That's it. So Look, so what are the chances of the IBF not stripping Canelo?
Well, I think they're going to strip him. They've already threatened
Yep.
to do so. They play by their rules, which are. I'm not saying I don't. I agree that they should play by the rules, but the rules are wrong.
Well,
Put it that way.
what your favorite promoter told me, Dimitri Salita, he said his man Vladimir Shishkin is going to be facing William Skull for the vacant IBF title sometime later this summer on
Mhm.
Big Time Boxing USA on DAZN. How do you like that? Is that move the needle for you, Rick?
Yeah, it'll make me watch a Yankees game that night.
It'll make your liver quiver.
I love it. Guys, we're moving on. And then after this next one, we're going to say hello to our dear friends in the chat. And this is number 2. Is
All
the
right.
Deuce.
For those awaiting the non-pay-per-view PBC boxing shows on Amazon Prime that you were promised by PBC in the announcement of the Amazon deal, good luck, because there's no way for the cash strap TBC 2.
Well,
Man.
keep it. No, keep
I
reading.
mean, listen. Could
Oh,
they
no, keep
put on?
reading. Keep
Could
reading.
they
Keep
wait?
reading.
Could
Oh,
they
I'm
put
sorry. There's
on?
more.
Okay.
Here we
Yep,
go.
there's a
Fund
lot
to
more.
fund it unless a knee deep pocket investor walks through the door looking for Al Heyman to blow up more investor money. That's the Heyman way, and that's what PBC has been all about. Remember that slogan. PBC had free boxing. Well, now in reality, it's pay-per-view everything.
Yep. Yep. Hey,
Um,
the boy isn't lying. He's not lying.
it is could they do a free show? Like a $50,000 event, like give two guys $7,500 a piece in the main event and $5,000 in the co-feature, and have a 50. Yeah, they could, but Amazon will flip. I mean,
Mm,
they're looking for something with some meat on the bones on those free shows. So because they got subscribers too. They are in the
hmm
subscriber business.
Yep. Yep. That's true. That is very true. I tell you what, though, this is not looking good for PBC. And that leads us into number 3. Go ahead, G Funky.
All right, 3 guarantees in life are death, taxes, and fighters fleeing PBC.
Woo!
Mass exodus of fighters fleeing the stranglehold of the invincible Al Heyman. Hashtag invisible.
Invisible.
I'm sorry. I'm on my phone, guys, so it's a little bit smaller. Invisible Al Heyman. PBC, hashtag PBC, hashtag boxing.
And there it is. What happened to Turkey Al-Sheikh? Rick? I thought he was going to be investing in PBC and working with Al. I thought he was
I
going to be the
I
government
I, I
bailout.
think I think he realized that let a
Yeah.
sinking ship sink.
Yep. Yep. Look, why would he bail them out when he can just poach and pick up their fighters as they flee?
Correct.
And he's the
Correct.
one with all the money. He's the one who's going to be brokering the deals for all the TV dates. What the
Mhm.
hell does he need PBC for?
He doesn't.
And there it is. There it is, guys. So if you guys were hoping that Saudis would bail out Al Heyman, well, think again, guys. Think again. Not looking good. So what are the chances and what's the probability of PBC, their last event, happening on June 15th, sir?
Well, I think that there's been rumors that that's the last show. I think definitely. I think if they come up with a miracle pay-per-view event where they get a lot of buys between Tank versus Frank Martin and Benavides versus the Nail, Gazev, it's got a shot to continue if they do real good pay-per-view numbers. But the numbers that they've been doing doesn't move the needle. Doesn't move the needle for Amazon.
Yeah, look, if Canelo Jaime Munguia only does 5.5, what is the probability?
550,000.
Yeah, what is the probability of Frank Martin, someone who couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night, and Tank Davis with David Benavidez Jr. or Dave Benavidez in the co-main event with another guy who couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night, albeit a great fighter, Alexander Gvozdyk. What is a probability? What is your projection? What do you think they sell that night?
It's a tough sell, but if it does 200,000, it would be good. And I don't think 200,000 is going to cut it for Amazon Prime. Don't forget one thing. There's a misunderstanding. I had a guy tell me the other day, well, anything Amazon Prime does on these pay-per-views is all found money.
Yep.
But that's not the situation. You've got to devote a lot of people, PR and executives and time to these things, and a platform to give these people, and all this costs money.
That's
and
right.
The bean counters above the level that the PBC executives are dealing with, above them, are looking at people and said, this just shows making 100,000, 200. We don't need that. This is a $300-400 billion company, whatever it's worth. And that's the problem with this thing. You're talking about peanuts. When you're talking about Amazon, you're talking about making 200,000 on a show or 300,000. You're talking about peanuts to these people. I mean, you got executives making, the executives they're dealing with is probably making a couple $1 million a year. So you know, and now you got a whole bunch of those executives devoted to this shit, and you got PR people. It's just makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense, sir.
It
doesn't make any sense. So I'll tell you what. Yes, sir.
Remember something. The Amazon Prime is an auxiliary, to their principal business, which is selling things over the internet, all kinds of stuff, right? Goods and services. Okay. That's all fine and dandy. Remember, Showtime was in the TV business, and they didn't even want the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So there's some of your answer right there.
Yeah. Look, guys, let's just face it. Right now, without Turki al-Sheikh and the Saudi royal family, boxing in the American market, oh boy. You could say pretty much promotions and Top Rank. That's it.
I wouldn't say that. No, the Zone, Eddie Hearn's doing shows here. Golden Boy's done a lot of shows so far this year. Top Rank's done a lot of shows on ESPN. That's not true. They're making fights that we weren't able to make with the amount of money we're dealing with. But it would not be dead without Jay, because you take away by El Sheikh this year, and last year America was fine without him. Now it's going to get better. Yes, it's going to get better, but it wasn't dead.
No, it wasn't dead. But last year we had Showtime's money, and let's just face it.
Showtime. You got to remember something. The Zone's doing, I don't know, got to be 100 shows a year on their network total, with all the promoters that do shows on there, 2 a week probably on an average. Top Rank does 36 shows a year, just from the United States, let alone all the foreign feeds that they're doing. So they're doing like another 2.5 a month on an average. So you're talking about another 30. That's 66 shows, and that's good boxing right there. Okay. The world does not need PBC. Let me make that perfectly clear.
No, you're absolutely right. And once again,
and Turki al-Sheikh is helping boxing, but boxing wasn't dead last year without him. They're making fights now that they were not able to make before. Okay, the amount of shows that they're doing is only going to be a few more per year. Like if he does 8 shows a year, it'll be a lot. But there's 6, 7, 8 big fights on each show. That's the difference right there.
Yep, indeed.
The quantity, they're putting fights together that we weren't able to put together before.
Indeed, here, brother, and that's the difference. And you know what? It's been a joy, but Rick, people need to start purchasing this stuff. Holy cow. I'm almost afraid to inquire about what the pay-per-view numbers are going to be for this last event, and it was a spectacular card.
Well, remember something. Okay. You've got two UK promoters on a 5-on-5. You got a
I know.
Russian fighter that doesn't speak any English, or from one of those countries over there. I think Russia. I think it is. And it's no that show was not made for the American market. So if it did
Mhm.
75, 80,000 buys, that's more than enough. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not,
I'll be shocked if it does 70 to 80,000 purchases.
well,
I'll be shocked.
it may or may not, but my point is that it was never made for the American market. Now, the show that
Yep.
they're doing August 3rd, that's made
Yep.
for the American market.
Indeed.
The one in
Indeed.
LA. Okay.
Indeed. And I tell you what, that brings us to number 4. Here you go, G Funky.
Okay. Hashtag Ryan Garcia giving his team the green light to negotiate a fight with Vergil Ortiz for the August 3rd show in LA. That's like signing your own death warrant. Going all the way up to 154 pounds and fighting a KO artist like Vergil Ortiz. And Ortiz is not Haney. That's
Yep.
very true. That's very true.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh.
I've watched Ortiz up close.
Mhm.
I've had the luxury of watching him up close. I've had to I've looked at his film and I've broken it down frame by frame. I mean, he puts heavy, heavy, heavy body English on every single punch. A lot of
Yep.
leverage on every punch, and he's looking to take people's heads off instantly. He's not fooling around and waiting around. He's walking across the ring like Grant took Richmond, and
Yeah.
he's just one of those kind of guys that he's got that Mike Tyson killer mentality. You know, Tito Trinidad had the same mentality, but he never did well in the first round. He was dropped 5 times in the second round in his fights. But after the second round, it got to the third round. The only fight he did good in early on was the William Joppy fight. All the other fights he didn't do so well on. And he's got that kind of mentality. And he just walks across the ring and looks to take your head off, to tear off your head and shit in your neck. And forget about Ryan Garcia. Let's not go there, Ryan Garcia. Okay. But because he's a 40-pounder, but he's just one of those type of guys that I could see him, going up to winning a world title at 54, despite Crawford being in the weight class, because Crawford won't have all the belts because he'll be going up to 68. I can see him winning a belt at 60. He's a young guy. I could see him winning a belt at 68. He's just one of those big, huge guys for the weight. And I think his punching power will carry up. And I think he's got exceptional mentality. He's one of those kind of guys you won't read about getting in kinds of trouble like the Charlo brothers and those kind of guys. He's just not cut out that way. He's a no-nonsense type of guy. He takes himself very seriously. And I think he's a very proud guy. And I expect big things from Vergil Ortiz.
Indeed. He is a future champion, big time, if he can stay healthy. And all points lead, or all indicators point to him being healthy in the 154-pound weight division, 160, 168. Sky's the limit for this kid. He is special, guys, and he's a destroyer. Rick is absolutely right about that. I've seen him as well up close and personally. And he seems to have found a home with Robert Garcia. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Rick, is he going to remain on that August 3rd card? Are they currently looking for an opponent?
Yeah, they're looking for somebody for the fight. They're talking to several parties right now.
All right, that's great news because I want to see the kid back in there.
Indeed. I tell you what, Alberto, welcome to the show, sir. And he says, hello, Joe and Rick, 2 class acts. Thank you, sir. And he also says, Joe, can you ask Rick what's going on with this Ryan Garcia fiasco? I keep seeing contradicting information. One day's cleared, another day's not. What gives? All I can say is this, Alberto. Victor Conti needs to have a Grace Papaya stuck up his,
He was cleared of the second performance enhancing drug, not the Osterstein. But they're saying it's found in certain supplements and stuff like that over the counter. So he will probably won't get the severity that he would have if he would have been taking it straight up, like injecting it in raw form instead of just taking it in supplements. So it's just he's innocent of the one, but the other one, he does have it in his system, but it was from supplements. It's not taken by itself.
Yep, guys, and for more information on that, look at the precedent set in MMA from Cuban former Olympian Yoel Romero, okay, where he was suspended, but he sued the hell out of those supplement manufacturers, and he was rewarded treble damages. I think it was over $24 million in damages, but it wasn't settled. Like this happened in 2015. It wasn't settled until 2019, guys. But the most important part of this, we need to see one of our biggest stars back in the ring. Sorry, Bill Haney. Nah. And that's it. That's it, guys. I mean, come on. Mini Meal, welcome to the show, sir. I'd pay to see Rick Glaser versus Al Heyman in Dubai. You know what? I would pay good money to see that too. But I think my man Rick is in better health these days. Have you heard the same, Rick?
I don't know. I think he's in good health. I don't think there's anything wrong with Heyman. I think it's bullshit. I think it's his way of leaving the game, saying he's too sick to continue, and save face and stuff like that. But PBC's doomed.
Yep, doomed, guys, doomed. Like I would bet money on. Like honestly, I take the under that this is going to be their last event. I would put money on it. I can guarantee it because this is going to flop like a fish. And that's it. And that's it. Chief Funky, is your profile picture of you and Rick?
Yes, it is. That's down there in Los Angeles, California. Last year, I met Rick down there, and we had a good time at the show at the Inglewood Forum, Rocha versus Santillan. Yeah, it was a good time.
Maybe I should have taken that right at La Jolla. Iceman, welcome to the show, sir. He says, Zhang hit Wilder so hard, he turned to the ref and asked, where are my keys, man? Holy shnikes. Rick? You said before the event that Deontay Wilder was more than likely a shot fighter. Is there any doubt about that now?
I didn't say more than likely he's a shot fighter. I said he's a shot fighter. Trust me. I remember what I said. I didn't say more than likely.
I was being nice, brother. You know me. I'm the nice guy on this show.
No, don't even try to be nice, please.
You're right. It's not becoming, is it? Oh, and here's Bruce, Cast, Boxing, Jazz, and more, man. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our brother Bruce. Great boxing historian, great fan, does a great job being the ambassador on YouTube. Do a great job, Bruce. Thank you for supporting Rick on this day, my friend. Ice also says Mayweather looking for Shakur. Why?
What's he going to pay him with? What's he going to pay him with?
Watches. And our brother Outlaw joins us also. Jojo, Rick, and the Funkster. Yes, sir. The Dream Team is back in action, guys. Mini Meal asks a very, very important question. Rick, what the heck happened to Richard Schaefer after the fallout with Oscar? He used to attend fights, but not anymore. Where is he and what is he up to? That's a very good question, and Rick has the answer.
He's president of Anthem Sports, which is a TV company that owns a whole bunch of TV stations, websites, apps, and all kinds of media presentations. And they have a sporting division. He's president of the company, and they have a sporting division that he overlooks on a daily basis, and that's like wrestling and women's MMA, wrestling, all kinds of stuff. and
And
he's president of that company. Yep. Hmm.
and they televise sporting events on AXS.com, right? Access.
Right. Yeah,
Very good.
and on the TV station, and then there's another one called Fight Night, and there's I can't remember. There's so many. They got between apps and between websites and between the TV stations, streaming, all the stuff. They maybe have like 17, 18 outlets.
Yeah, you know
So
what? It was a real head scratcher, Mini Meal, because at the time I was doing work with Don Chargan, also with Golden Boy and a lot of Al Heyman's fighters. And honestly, Richard, he's got a genius level IQ. How you like that? That equates to Al Heyman not just being a con man, but being an exceptional con man. Because how the hell, Rick, did he convince Richard Schaefer to let all of his fighters eat up all those TV dates that Golden Boy had on 5 different networks and not sign any of them to Golden Boy deals?
I don't know. I hate to ask. I don't really know. It's just
Honestly, Richard was a machine. And you know that. Richard was a machine. He was a brilliant guy. Don Chargan called, said, you know, Joseph, he's got the best business acumen I've seen since Howard Hughes. So how the hell did he get duped by Heyman, left holding the bag, sabotaging his own company?
I don't know. It's a good question. I just don't know.
Oh, boy. Yep. That's a head scratcher to me as well. Don couldn't figure it out either. Oh, well, some of that voodoo magic, brother. Round 1. Welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for supporting Rick on this day. Here comes Alberto. You done did it. I saw Oscar post a potential 5 versus 5 between Golden Boy and Top Rank. A clean sweep for Golden Boy. 5-0. Rick will have the best matchups ready to go for GP. Well, Rick's going to explain to you why that's not going to happen.
Well, I didn't say it's not going to happen, but it's not as dramatic as you think it is. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't work for Golden Boy. That's a misconception started by Sad Sack Sal, Mr. Boxing Guru there, and saying that telling people I work for Golden Boy, trying to cause confusion in the marketplace. But I don't work for Golden Boy. I do business daily with Golden Boy. And we have a fabulous relationship. I'm very proud of that relationship. Eric Gomez, the president, of course, Oscar, the chairman, and we have a very nice relationship. I'm honored to be doing business with a class organization like that they are. The reason why that's going to be hard to do is they're going to have to just center in a few weight classes. Top Rank's in the heavyweight division. Golden Boy is not. I'm working from the top down. Golden Boy's in the cruiserweight division with Zordo Ramirez. Top Rank's got no cruiserweights. The only light heavyweight that what's his name has, Top Rank, is committed to B-ball October 12th or October whatever in Saudi Arabia. Yes. The Golden Boy doesn't have any people at that weight class or light heavyweight. Then you go to super middleweight. They've got a bunch of super middleweights. Top Rank has 0 super middleweights except for Christian Mabili, which is partners, and he's number 1 in the B. Going to be number 1 in the BC, so they're not going to put him in. Okay, that ain't happening. Okay, and then you go down the middleweight. You got Troy Isley. They got 1. They got Troy Isley, and Golden Boy's got 1, and his name is Eric Priest, and that's not happening because Eric Priest is a big ticket fella, and his manager is going to say, "What do we need that for?" Right? So that won't happen.
Right.
Okay. Then you got 54. You got Xander Zayas versus either Vergil Ortiz or Charles Conwell. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We know that. No, wait. Let me go on. At 47, they've only got Brian Norman that I know of. I'm thinking, okay, which is a WBO interim champ, where Golden Boy's got a whole shitload of 147 pounders. Not a shitload, but a bunch. They got Corral, Raul Corral. They got a bunch of 47s. They got oh God, they got a bunch of 47s. They got one top rank. Okay. At 40, they got a lot of fighters, both of them. Okay. Especially Golden Boy. Okay. But their champ, top ranks, already turned down Jose Ramirez and Arnold Barboza. Golden Boy's got Kenneth Sims. Golden Boy's got a whole bunch of other 40 pounders, so they could put guys in. At 35, yeah, you could make Loma and Williams Zepeda. That's a fight you could make at 35. They're not going to put in. They're not going to put in Floyd Schofield with Mason, because he's just fighting Slave now, and he doesn't have to fight another undefeated good fighter right now for a while. So the common sense tells you that won't happen. Top Rank's got a lot of 30 pounders. Golden Boy has none. Top Rank's in the 26-pound weight class, real deep, and the Golden Boy's got one 26-pounder, and that's Victor Morales, who's about number one in one of the organizations. So that's a possibility with one of the Top Ranks with Top Ranks, one of their featherweight champs. I don't even think Golden Boy, except for Nui, he's not going to be in this thing. So, Nui's, it's just not going to happen. And the guy that Golden Boy does have it that way, he's only like 12-0. He's just getting going. His name is Tito Sanchez. And then Golden Boy's got a bunch of guys between a 105-pound champ up to 115, but Top Rank doesn't have anybody that small that I'm aware of. So they're only really in 47, 40, 30, and 35 together. So all the fights would have to be made at 47, which could only be one, because Top Rank's really only got. Oh, they got Santaleon too. But he just got destroyed by Brian Norman.
Norman
right.
Jr.
Okay, so they got two. Golden Boy's got four in that weight class. At 40, Golden Boy's got a ton of guys. Winnicot's got a bunch too, and then 35, they both got a bunch. But that's it. Those three weight classes. That's it.
You know what? So I'm sorry, Alberto. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. That's a mere
it can happen. No. It can happen, but it's got to be concentrated really around three weight class, and maybe their featherweight. Victor Morales fighting one of Golden Boy, one of Top Rank's champs. I could see that happening. So, but there's not a lot of. They're in different, except for those three weight classes. They're really in different weight classes.
Well, there's a lot of action in those weight classes, though. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And there it is, guys. There it is. Round one. Welcome to the show, Certain. Thank you for supporting Rick on this day. And oh boy, Minnie Mill says this. I want to get your take on this, Rick. Man, I hope IBF strips Canelo. I'm sick and tired of him holding the belt hostage and his cherry picking, etc. You know what? I think that's why they're making the Crawford fight, guys. There aren't very many options for him at 68.
There's not very many options for either guy.
Yeah. And so there it is.
For big fights, to pay Crawford the kind of money he wants to make.
Yep. And that's it, guys. Enter Turkey Al-Sheikh. Thank you, Turkey. Adam Hurley. Welcome to the show, sir. Can't wait for Canelo versus William Skull. Yeah, right. And Mr. Andrew Charles, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting Rick on this day. Mini Meals, another one. Rick, why were the PBC investors so stupid in giving Alman Heyman so much money to blow up, overpaying boxers and getting away, not delivering prime fights? Why did it take 10 years, brother?
I paid $20. Why they do it? There's a schmuck born every day. They were schmucks. What can I tell you?
Woo, I love it. Mark Blake from Florida. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for supporting Rick on this day. Also, my brother EJ. What's up, Joseph and Rick?
Thanks, Doc.
Salute to the panel in the chat. Salute to you, my friend. I tell you what, we need to get back to Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Oh boy. Before though, let me say hello to my dear friend Adam Montequilla Lopez, Left Hook Lopez. I tell you what, great job calling the fights with me this past Saturday. He says, "Is the Heyman tranny rumor true, or had any hints of truth?" Big Rick.
Heyman, what rumor?
Transvestite.
I don't even know how to spell it. Well, I'll tell you guys a funny story. You want to hear a funny story about transvestite? You'll like the story. It's funny.
Oh, dude, don't. You're not going to say the Emmanuel one, are you?
No. When I
thank you.
when I was growing up, I went out with a girl. And I says, "What does your father do for a living?" She says, "He's a training specialist." Well, he worked on transmissions. that has a whole different meaning 50 years later.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Thank you, Biden's America. Holy shit. Did I just get political on this? No, I didn't do that on this show. Rick, I tell you what, you got 1 million of them, brother. Tell you what, we'd have to extend this show about 5 hours to hear. Well, 50% of Rick's one-liners. Ching out. Hold on. Jesus Sam, welcome to the show, sir. He says, Rick, is DAZN no longer fully invested in overpaying Canelo about Berlanga or after Berlanga bout? That's going to be a real problem for Canelo moving forward, isn't it?
They haven't done the Berlanga bout. What's he talking about?
Well, he means when it flops, inevitably.
Well, they're not fully invested in anything. The guy's shown no loyalty to them. He's not going to show. They're not going to show loyalty to him. Whatever the market value is, that's what they're going to pay.
Yep.
Remember one thing. DAZN doesn't need Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that.
Not anymore. No. I tell you what, Rick. Do you think he's going to be able to, after this pass? Well, I wouldn't say it flopped. It did decent numbers, but not for that huge guaranteed purse demand that he likes to make. Is he going to be able to request that kind of purse demand for Berlanga from DAZN?
I don't see it. No.
Nope. I think those days are over unless he gets the right opponent. Yep.
I think Crawford's the right opponent. I think he can command huge money for Crawford. But this is what I think. I think Canelo's to the point now, whereas he was before, he didn't need a dance partner. Now he needs a dance partner.
Yep. Agreed. And once again, he's got the dismissive, his dismissive behavior of David Benavidez to thank for that. I think the fans are speaking loudly and clearly here. Rick, what say you?
The Canelo fans? No, I think the thieves are speaking loudly and clearly.
Yeah, that's it, brother. I tell you what. OJ, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you, brother. Tell you what, God rest your soul. Heisman Trophy winner and the first to breach the 2,000-yard mark in the NFL. That's what I'm going to remember him for. And there it is. And also, let's go, Mets go. Gabe Lopez, run that Canelo versus Mbili fight. Brother, you have a better chance of seeing Rick Glaser punch the shit out of Al Heyman.
No, I actually think that he'd fight. When the time comes, he'll fight Mbili. I think Mbili's overrated. I don't think we've really seen anybody punch back at him. I think he's a little green. And I think that a guy like Canelo can punch holes in him. And he's not too tall. That's a problem. Canelo's only 5'7.5", guys. People forget that. People say, well, he doesn't want to fight Benavidez. Benavidez is fucking 6'3". You know, that's part of it. I mean, what the fuck? And Canelo's got short arms. So I mean, you know, I think Mbili's tailor-made for Canelo. So I can see that fight happening when it's supposed to happen. In the meantime, he's still got Berlanga. He's still got Crawford. Then who knows about if he's going to even beat Crawford. But then he goes and fights Mbili. Let's say he does. he goes and fights Billy. I can see that fight happening. Absolutely, I can.
You know what? That is a great style matchup for Canelo.
Right.
Well, when he was the Marauder of 168,
Mm-hmm.
but the guy who's been getting touched up lately. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Now, keep in mind.
Yeah, but you got to remember something. Billy's not going to charge in like he does everybody else with Canelo, because Canelo's got power and he's a sharpshooter and he's very accurate. He knows how to fight, so he's not going to be just charging like he does with the other guy. You're going to see a different Billy because of Canelo's ring acumen and his style and his power jab and all that kind of stuff.
Very good observation. Counterpunchers usually do that to assertive fighters. Yes, sir.
Right.
Very good observation, Rick. And Gabe finally says, yeah, I'd pay big money to see Rick KO Al Heyman. Hell yes. What say you, G Funky? Would you pay top dollar for that one, brother?
Oh, yes, definitely.
And my brother Pounds, welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. Now, guys, play it again, Sam.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
Oh, brother, I tell you what. I'm going to have to read this one because I was a little slow on the draw. But I have to read this. This is awesome. This was on June 1st, Saturday morning, the day of the big event, 5-on-5. And Rick said this: I purchased Turkey Al Sheikh's Frank Warren's 5 versus Eddie Hearn's 5 today on his own pay-per-view. And it's going to be a great event. You cheap bastards should buy it too, instead of being thieves. Wilder versus Zhang and Dubois versus Ergovich are both going to be great fights. Riyadh season. Hold on, there's more. Riyadh season. Yeah, hashtag boxing. That's it. Rick, was it everything that you thought it would be?
Yeah, it was a great show. It was a lot of fun. It was a great show. No complaints. Not at all. I love seeing Wilder get knocked out. I'll tell you what, he got balls. He got up. When his feet were, when he was stretched out like that for like 6-7 seconds, I didn't think he was getting up, that bastard. He got up, you know.
Yeah.
Why he got up is a different issue. But I don't know why. But yeah, I thought the featherweight fight. I thought Ray Ford, Nick Ball was sensational. I liked the whole show. It was good. The only fight I wasn't thrilled with was Bivol, and that was a substitute opponent, and they just did it to keep him on the show and keep him in action. And it was all plus. That was a found fight. In other words, where I was excited about the other 5, and we got great fights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like, honestly, though, what's up with the 6-7 round or 6-7 hour fight cards, Rick?
Boy.
You know what? I like those. I like those, to be honest with you, because I feel that people are paying for that, and they're giving you a good bang for your buck. So what are they going to do? They got 6 fights that they showed. 5 of them were the 5-on-5, right? Okay. And they had meaningful fights. As long as the fights are meaningful, I don't have a problem with long fights. They're not undercard bullshit matches. They're real fights. So I have no problem with it. That is
a very good point. And guys, yes, and guys, keep in mind that they were all 12 rounders. Okay, they were all 12 round fights. They didn't go that long, all of them, but they were all scheduled for 12 rounds. So we're gonna go one by one here, though, Rick, because I need to do my petty voice because I love the way he used to murder names on Friday Night Fights. What did you think of Hamza Shiraz versus Ammo Williams?
I think Shiraz can be a world champ. I see him beating what's his name, Carlos Adames. I think he's the real deal. I think he's got a tremendous jab. He's huge for the weight class. He's got beautiful footwork without being a runner. He's got a great right hand he comes back with. He's got a wonderful jab. I've already said that once. I can't express how good that jab is. And he's got a super high ring IQ for a guy that's not that far along in his pro career that had a late start. He's got a very, very high ring IQ.
Yeah, and there's
I,
very little
I, I
fat on
think
that steak.
I think
Very, very economical in his motion. Very
right.
efficient.
Right. I like him to beat what's his name, and I think that I would pay $500 to see him. And I'm talking about on TV on pay-per-view. Okay, I would fly wherever the fight is. I love to watch him and Janabek, the WBO IBF champ fight each
Mm.
other in a unification bout. I think it would be tremendous myself.
That is an awful style matchup for Janabek Ali Manala.
That's right.
In my opinion,
Hmm.
I think Shiraz, because he just took home the WBC silver, I think he tackles Carlos Adames, and I think the Sheik pays for that. What say you,
Yeah,
sir?
I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, no question about it. I think especially because he's Middle Eastern. Shiraz is probably born in England but grew up there, but he's Middle Eastern, and I think that'll
Yep.
play into them paying for the fight. I love the fight. I think he's special. I think he can be great. Some people say, well, we don't know how good his chin is. Okay, you can say that about almost every fighter that's young. But
Yep.
what you see so far, he looks like the real deal to me.
Yeah, he got rocked in round number 2, and he recovered very
Another thing is
quickly.
Frank Warren wouldn't have put him in unless he was confident that he had a good chin because everybody knew the only thing Ammo Williams can do is punch. So
You know what?
there's part of your answer.
I look, I'm sold on the kid. Like I was thinking exactly like you, because Don always taught me, hey, Joseph, don't get too high on a prospect until you see how well he takes a good shot. And we
Right,
saw
right,
that.
right, and right. The old line was, and I even before Don Shargan was in by. I'm talking about before the '50s, years ago. They used to say, "Hey, how's his whiskers?"
Yep,
Okay,
that's it.
that's what they used to
That's
say.
it.
We started
Yep.
calling it a chin later on. They used to say, "How's his whiskers?"
Yep. Yep. That's it. Just like giving, hey, he gave me the high hat. The reason why Carmen Basilio hated Sugar Ray Robinson, right? I saw him at a party once and he gave me the high hat. True story, guys. I love it though. Great event. Now we're gonna move on. We have only about 5 to 6, 7 minutes left. What the hell happened with Ronnie's fighter, Philip Ergovich? Rick.
First of all, I like Ronnie as a trainer. I like Ronnie as a person, and I think
Yep.
Ronnie's an excellent trainer. But that motherfucker didn't move his head.
Nope.
Okay, and he's in no shape. Now I
Mm-mm.
don't know if he's got a separate conditioning coach, and Ronnie just works with him at the gym on the boxing part, and he does like the exercises when Ronnie's not around in the morning and the running. But that motherfucker's in no shape, none.
Well, let
And
me tell you what.
he was
Go ahead, sir.
gassed.
I'm
He was
sorry.
gassed after 3 rounds.
Yes, sir. He was noticeably gassed, and both guys were exchanging hard leather, and it just looked like Daniel Dubois was the more battle ready and battle tested guy, and he came into that fight brimming with confidence. And boy, that's got to be a huge deterrent mentally when your opponent is walking through your best right hands.
Yeah,
But
not only that is he just didn't look. Havovic did not look fluid at all.
mhm.
He looked like I'm not saying he looked robotic. Don't get me wrong, but he looked sloppy. And
Well,
I didn't really see him look that sloppy in prior fights. Um, I was
well,
greatly disappointed in him. Not
yep.
because I thought he was going to win or lose, just because of now. Don't get me wrong. If he would have lost a firefight, it would have won 12 rounds or something like that. I wouldn't be talking like this. But he just didn't. You're gassed after 3 rounds, and you're scheduled for 12 when you're a professional fighter. Something's wrong.
Yep. And look, Ronnie told me this off the record, and I shouldn't be saying this, but he's going to spill it. I've already spoken with him. He's going to talk and rant all about it tomorrow evening on Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields. Tomorrow evening, guys. Tune in for that. He told me several weeks ago, he said, you know what, Joseph? it really pisses me off that Eddie Hearn is sandbagging us. We've been the IBF interim titleist since we beat Zhang 2 years ago, and we fought Dean McKenna and some other schlub from Australia. And he's like, this is not right. They're not doing a good job seasoning this guy. It's like almost like they want him to be at his worst when he fights Anthony Joshua. And honestly, Rick, I can't argue with Ronnie. Ronnie, he's a veteran. He knows the right way to bring a guy along if you want him to be a champion.
Listen, I believe in Ronnie as a trainer. I like Ronnie as a person. I think he's a cool guy. I have nothing negative to say about Roddy Shields. I will say that I don't have anything great to say about Eddie Hearn. And barely anything good.
Look, and all I can say is to support Ronnie's theory. What was the final score of that, Rick, on Saturday?
10-0.
Yep.
5 points to 0 and 10-0. Right, exactly.
Yep. The Hall of Famer, Frank Warren, just took the kid to school. And so that says it all. So in my opinion, yeah, that supports everything that Ronnie was complaining about. He got taken to school and he got slapped behind the ears, brother.
He definitely got bitch slapped.
Woo! I wasn't going to say that, but Rick, I knew you would. G-Funky, is there anything that you would like to throw at our dear friend Rick Glaser at this time?
No, I agree with everything he's been saying throughout the show. And it's good to be back. I've been off for a little bit. Haven't really been keeping up with boxing because I've just been busy with personal matters, but I'm back and I'm ready to get in there. But I want to ask you this, Rick. Is that Don King show still on this Saturday with Blair Cobb and Adrian Broner?
Or it's Friday. Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Because I had some people that thought that it wasn't happening anymore. So
no, the cruiserweight bout's not happening. It's postponed because of injury to Don's guy. But the show's happening with Broner and there's 2 other good fights on the show. Real good.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Broner's already stated that this is his last fight with Don King. But Rick, realistically, who do you see picking up and working with Adrian Broner?
It's not his last fight with Don King. And please, he's got a long-term contract with Don. He's full of shit.
No, well, that wouldn't surprise me, brother. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. But I tell you what, what does he expect? I mean, realistically, Rick, at this stage of his career, what on earth does he expect?
Who, Don or Broner?
Broner. Like, we already know what.
I don't know if he beats Cobb. I'm not so sure he beats Cobb.
I agree with you. I agree with that.
No.
That actually, but is it worth purchasing on pay-per-view for you?
Well, I'm not going to be watching because I'm going to be watching Oscar Collazo, one of my favorite fighters. I love fighters with super high ring IQs, and Oscar's got a top 10 ring IQ in boxing. So there you go.
Now he's the 105er, right? Oscar
Collazo? WBO champ.
Boy, he is super. He looks stellar. Now, is there any possibility of him fighting Bam eventually, sir?
No, they're too far apart. No, Bam's 15 now. This guy's 5. There's 108, 112, 150. There's too many weight. By the time this guy gets to fucking 115, Bam will be at 18, and then going into 22. So no, I can't see that happening.
Well, I tell you what, I'm doing a show with Robert Garcia on June 15th. And he just told me that sparring between Bam and Chocolatito was legendary. Yeah, and I'm going to try to get him on the show when he's in town, guys, so he can talk all about it. Woo! But guys, we're at the end of the line. How do you like that, Rick? I would say that you survived Fact or Fiction, but you didn't even want to, did you? You were afraid, weren't you? You ducked, man. You ducked Fact or Fiction, didn't you, brother?
Yeah, you're making me feel like a PBC fighter now.
Oh! Forget about it. Oh, I tell you what, Rick, the time just flies when we have you on the air, brother. G Funky, we're going to give you your partying shots first, my friend.
Oh, well, hey, guys in the chat, don't forget to hit that like button for Joseph. All right. And follow my man Rick on Twitter, or what's called X now, at Real Rick Glaser 1. He's a good
Twitter
follow.
slash
Trust me,
X.
guys. Yes.
Woo! Tell you what, Rick is the best. I tell you what, Rick always flies by. Your partying shots for our listening audience this evening, my friend.
My partying shots. Watch Oscar Collazo on regular DAZN, not pay per view on Friday night. You're going to see one of the top 10 uh, ring IQs in boxing. Eventually, a top 10 pound for pound guy too, and it's going to be a good, solid, nice show that Golden Boy's going to put on at the Hall of Fame weekend this weekend, and I'm just ready to be me and come back here next Monday night and talk about all the good things and all the bad things.
Well, I tell you what,
Right.
Rick, never change to please anybody, my friend. You're beautiful the way you are, brother.
I can't change. It's about. I'm 66 years old now. What am I going to do? You know.
Forget about it. Guys, on behalf of G Funky Boxing and the real Rick Glaser, I'm Joseph Herring. You've been listening to War Week Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.